Fremantle.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Prime Minister. The people of Fremantle voted overwhelmingly for more money for schools and hospitals, not banks. So instead of giving $17 billion to the big banks, a policy for which no Liberal candidate in WA was prepared to argue, why won't the Prime Minister support Labor's plan to invest $5 million to build an urgent care clinic at Fremantle Hospital?
The Minister for Health. The Minister for Health has the call.
Thanks very much, Mr Speaker. And we are just investing $5 million. We are investing an extra $3.4 billion in funding for hospitals in Western Australia. And you know what? It was the West Australian Labor government that signed that agreement with the Prime Minister, that reached that agreement at the COAG earlier this year. And so on a bipartisan basis, what we saw is the commencement of a process that is now seen as part of a $30 billion increase in hospital funding around Australia. 3 Labor states and territories and 3 coalition states and territories sign up to more hospital funding. And what do we see in Western Australia? In Labor's last year in government, federal funding was $1.4 billion. This year it's $2.2 billion, but it will grow under the Prime Minister's agreement, the coalition government's agreement, to $3.2 billion, and that will be a $3.5 billion increase in federal funding to Western Australia for hospitals. And at the same time, you know what's interesting? At the same time, we know from what the West Australian government has told us, the Leader of the Opposition and the federal ALP tried to stop WA from signing the agreement. They tried to stop Western Australia from signing up to more hospital funding. So when you understand what this Leader of the Opposition is about, it's not about more hospital funding in WA or Queensland, because he was silent in Queensland at the slashing cuts of the Palaszczuk government. It's not about more funding in Western Australia, because he tried to stop the Western Australian Labor government from signing up to an agreement with the federal government. It's about taking any chance to take an advantage at the cost of the very people he purports to represent. And that's his history, that's his practice, that's his approach when he was not just the Leader of the Opposition, not just a minister in the previous government, but when he was a union leader ripping money off the most vulnerable workers. So at the end of the day, what you see is $3.4 billion of additional federal funding for Western Australia for hospitals, an extra increase from $1.4 billion to a more than doubling of $3.2 billion over the period from when Labor was last in government to when our new hospital agreement reaches its final year. That's real investment, and you can only do that. You can only do that when you've got the economy which supports the ability to invest in new hospitals, in new treatments and new medicines.